Good morning, my dear friends. Welcome to day 3 of our breath by breath, step-by-step approach to practicing breath mindfulness session. We've been learning the art of breathing right and also the science behind how breath helps us get a lot of benefits. We saw certain benefits on the physical body. First day, we saw the right way of breathing. And yesterday, we saw a little bit more on what right breathing allows us to have an impact, how it allows us to have an impact on our body by activating our relaxation response and allowing our body to heal and grow. Yesterday, there were quite a few people who talked about different experiences. Experiences, since they talked about different happenings during meditation. Today, I'm going to touch a little bit on that before we dive into our practice for 35 minutes. So we learned this yesterday, mindfulness of breathing. What happens as you breathe? As we breathe, there are variations in the breath cycle. We can observe them as our awareness increases. As our awareness increases, our attention, the focus increases, we'll start noticing minor variations in our breath cycle. And some of us would have already felt how the mind keeps wandering, how the mind wandering happens, thoughts keep coming, distractions keep happening. So all that happens in the mind, and bodily movements, right? And obviously we started off observing the breath at our nose, but also feeling the stomach movements as we breathe in and out, right? And some of you felt some sensations, some jerks and all that, right? And then energy flows. So this is what happens as we breathe. Now, let us understand, yesterday there were quite a few queries on, yeah, my throat becomes dry, my mouth becomes dry, or I'm feeling sensations in the forehead. What are those? We call those as experiences or happenings during meditation. So quickly, there are several types of experiences you may feel. Number one is body experiences. Your body becomes light, body becomes heavy. And as I kept mentioning, sometimes yesterday someone said their thumb felt hot. So different parts of the body might feel hot. You might suddenly feel sweating happening. You might suddenly feel things being cold. And there are other kind of body movements, right? Upper body movements, moving back and forth, front and back, and all that. So body experiences. Similarly, some of the folks feel some sounds, mystical sounds, om, bells, drums, some kind of buzzing, hissing. As you go deeper into meditation, you'll sometimes hear the sounds of oceans, waves, nature sounds, even with those not being physically around you. And divine fragrances, some strange taste in the mouth, tingling of skin, creeping movements up the spine, and suddenly your breath pattern changes. Someone was mentioning that. Suddenly your breath pattern slows down, and there are instances where your breath focus increases. Dryness of mouth or excess of saliva, dryness of throat, dryness of mouth, excess of saliva, feeling of sudden breeze, wonderful experience. All these are sensory experiences associated with our sense organs, including touch. And some will feel a set of emotional experiences like deep joy, ecstasy, crying, tears, and then laughing for no reason, either during meditation or after that as you bask in the peace and joy of that day's experience. And there are throat chakra experiences like involuntary yawning, sighing, burping, or coughing that happens during or immediately after meditation. Again, these are all triggered by the emotional cleansing that happens. And a lot of us will have this mind auditorium, right? The mind experiences. There could be headaches, pain, tingling, itching, or pulsing in the forehead, visions, white dots, some different colors, something brilliant lights happening, visions of deities, seeing scenes of nature, snapshots of some old childhood event or something that happened long, long ago, probably was erased out of your everyday memory. Suddenly it might flash up during meditation or in the calmness post-meditation. Then some of you will feel tunnel experience as if they are going through a big tunnel, some past life experiences and out-of-body experiences, all right? And some of you might have some insight experiences, healing, which is common, losing consciousness of body. Sometimes you feel, I didn't even know where the 40 minutes happened. Right? Losing consciousness of body, becoming one, losing awareness of sounds, losing awareness of time, complete stillness. This will happen in advanced stages as we will talk about the different states. And then suddenly you'll start receiving in that calmness, in that absolute stillness of mind, there will be a thought that happens, the insight experiences, receiving wisdom, receiving insights, answers to your problems, answers to your questions. So what do we do about these experiences? So the caution here is experiences differ from person to person. And these experiences are not a must for everyone. They are not essential for people to make progress in meditation. In fact, in the initial days, I never used to have any of these experiences while at the end of meditation classes, when Patriji conducts the meditation classes, a lot of people would say, I saw this, I saw Sai Baba, I saw that God, I saw wonderful visions, I saw brilliant colors, right? None of it used to happen to me. I was wondering whether I'm doing it right or not. Then I asked Patriji. He said, no, none of those experiences are mandatory for everyone. For some, they happen, but the key thing is to go beyond it, right? So do not glamorize experiences. I know there are a lot of videos that talk about it. I got this, I did this, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, but do not glamorize experiences. No craving or dislike for experiences. One day you might get some brilliant colors. One day you'll see one, for example, someone got that dryness in throat, which is, yes, it's a valid experience during meditation. But today you didn't get it, or today you got something else. So do not fear any of those experiences. Do not crave for the experiences. They are transient. They go away. Some days they appear, next day they don't appear. Next day nothing will happen, right? So which is okay. So all we need to do is just observe, experience, and let go. No analysis, no judgment. Like that is what we've been practicing with mindfulness. The key is going beyond these experiences. So the reason I usually talk about early during our practice is so that you know anything that happens is normal, nothing to worry, right? But again, those will not continue to happen or nothing to be gleaned. Oh, I got this event from my childhood, sudden flash of memory. Is there a significance? Not attach significance to any of those. So if these experiences are not important, what is important in a meditation setting? So these are the things that we should aspire towards. These are the things that are markers to progress for your meditation, breath mindfulness meditation. First step, continuous attention to the breath. Then you start feeling energy flows across the body. You should feel a sense of joy and rapture and feel a sense of stillness. So these are the states each of us will go through when we are following this Anapanasati meditation in its pure form, the way we are practicing. So first stage, some of you advanced meditators who've been meditating for a long time would have passed state 1, definitely. So this is about every time you get a thought or a distraction, bring your attention back to your breath, right? Remember, that is not a preparatory stage. That is part of the practice. Every time you get a thought, that is expected, and then bringing your attention back to your breath. That is the first state. All of us are in that. And then over time, once you start practicing for a few days, for a few hours, then we will get continuous attention on our breath. Initially, you might be able to focus on your breath for a few seconds, 1 second, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Then you'll be able to focus on your breath for 5 minutes, 10 minutes continuously without a thought or a distraction happening. That is when you are in state 2. All right. So there is sustained exclusive focus. That is the reason we are following the step of focusing. We're observing our breath here. That is to accelerate our movement into state 2. Once we are in the second state, then as we continue to deepen our concentration, deepen our focus, deepen our awareness, then slowly we'll start, as our awareness enhances, we'll start feeling energy currents. Energy is flowing throughout your body. You'll start feeling that, and then a sense of bliss, sense of joy. It's called meditative joy. And while we are with that, that is not the end state of meditation. People will feel, oh, it is so blissful, so wonderful. I've succeeded in meditation. No, there are states beyond it. Because that sense of joy is all still, your mind is engaged. So once we go beyond, continue to stay with it, let go, wonderful, thank you, wonderful, thank you. And then as you go beyond that, then you get into a state of sukha, peace, calmness. Right? You'll feel that peace and calmness. You'll still feel happy about it. And in the last state of stillness, you will not be capable of thinking. No thoughts happen during that state. Thoughts might happen at a physiological level or a psychological level, but you will not be able to be aware of those. It's like empty mind states. It's the equanimity. That is what gives rise to equanimity. That's the samadhi states. And there are different levels of samadhi. In Yoga Sutra, they talk about different levels of samadhi. In Buddhist literature, we talk about jhanas. So all that happened beyond state 5. If you come out of a meditation feeling that, oh, wow, that was a wonderfully peaceful and extreme joyful, then you are in 1, 2, 3, 4. The moment you get into 5, you'll not even analyze what happened. That is state 5. All of us will get there through continuous practice. So these are the key states of breathfulness meditation, my dear friends. And that is what this whole program is structured to allow you to seamlessly ease into this whole process step by step. So we are right now trying to extend our span of attention on our breath. All right. So like always, like yesterday, so we will continue to do the same practice. We will practice equal breathing relaxation for 15 minutes and then focus our attention at our nose for 20 minutes today, right? And then slowly, quickly do a 2-minute appreciation. Tomorrow, I will introduce the significance and importance of the step of appreciation and gratitude. All right, and then the other important thing is don't get lost in thoughts. The whole goal of meditation and mindfulness is to rise above those thoughts. You have to be watching as if this lady is watching the forest from above. You should allow the thoughts to come and go. You should allow the feelings to come and go. You should allow your mind to come and go. You'll get to a state where you start observing your mind. Today we are lost in it, but tomorrow you'll start feeling, you'll start witnessing all those things happening. There's all these experiences. That is why you'll notice these experiences as transitory. You'll notice the breath as transitory. You'll notice every thought as transitory. And that is what Buddha taught. All right. So with that, let's dive into today's practice of 35 minutes of breathfulness meditation, my dear friends. 15 minutes of equal breathing to relax and be conscious of our breath, and 20 minutes of observing your breath at your nose. All right. So with that, let's begin. Let's get into a posture. Please switch on your videos. I'll play some music. Remove your spectacles, close your eyes. Clasp your fingers and allow your hands to rest on your lap. Cross your feet at the ankle and slowly bring your attention to your nose and start equal breathing, samavritti. Center yourself. Breathe in long, breathe out long, without holding your breath. As you breathe in long, smooth, and easy, you can count to 3 or 4. Similarly, you can do your counting as you breathe out. And as you do so, observe the movements in your abdomen. As you breathe in, count 1, 2, 3. Breathe out, count 1, 2, 3. Feel your lungs filling, breathing full. Feel the movement in your stomach. As you breathe in, your stomach comes out. As you breathe out, your stomach goes in. Keep your body absolutely comfortable. Keep your head and neck straight, relaxed. Do not strain any part of your body. This step of relaxation allows you to be aware, become more aware of your breath, relaxes your body, kicks off the process of focusing, and calms your mind. So that as we dive into the practice of observing our breath, we are not interrupted by thoughts or other distractions. Continue to practice breathing equal, keeping your inhale and exhale equal. Continue to count, continue to be aware of your movements in your abdomen. So you are warming up, you are centering yourself, you're aligning your breath, the movements in your body, and your focus. Feel the rhythm of your breathing. Feel your relaxing body. Feel how you're able to keep thoughts away by your focus on your breathing. This is like the warm-up for our breathfulness exercise. Five more minutes of equal breathing. You should not feel any strain or stress in any part of your body or due to your breathing. If you're feeling any discomfort, then reduce the length of your inhale and exhale. Adjust a position. Feel comfortable. Like we learned yesterday, this technique of being with our breath, samavritti, and any process using the breath activates our relaxation response, and your body is flooded with the good feeling neurochemicals. So you should feel that sense of peace, calmness, joy from your head to toe. Wonderful, my dear friends. Now let's emerge from the warm-up. Drop the equal counting. Now start observing your breath at your nose. Just focus fully at the entrance to your nose, inside your nose, or at a point on your upper lip. And start observing whatever is happening at that point as you breathe in and breathe out normally and natural. If you are not able to feel anything, that's okay. Still keep your focus at that point. After 10 minutes, we'll move it to a different point. So no counting, no equal breathing, just observing your breath. Observing the sensations, the tingling, the flow of air into your nose and out of your nose. Do not entertain any thoughts, any distractions. All the thoughts can wait for 30 more minutes. You will always get the right thought at the right time whenever you need it. So don't worry about thinking or losing any thought right now. Just you, your breath, and your nose region. Nothing else should be in your awareness. Wonderful, my dear friends. Continue to notice, observe every breath. All your attention and awareness should be focused at the entrance to your nose. Do not strain your forehead. Relax your eyebrows, relax your shoulders. Keep your head straight. Do not put excessive effort in watching the breath. Observation should not be compulsive. Just watching the breath with a sense of curiosity is a secret to successful meditation. Just observe with a sense of curiosity what is happening to your breath at your nose. The key goal of this step is to observe every breath without skipping any breath. For those of you who are unable to observe anything at your nose or feel anything at your nose as you breathe in and breathe out, you can choose another point, maybe your stomach, where you're able to feel the movements out and in. Pick one point where you're able to observe or feel a movement or a sensation on your every breath. Your stomach could be your chest, or could be some part inside your nose. Do not engage in thinking. Rise above the thinking and thoughts. As soon as you watch a thought arising, slowly bring your attention back to observing your breath. Just 10 more minutes. of focusing your attention and awareness at your nose and observing your breath. Enjoy the feeling of breathing. Keep your body relaxed, shoulders relaxed, eyebrows and forehead relaxed. Feel the joy of breathing. Excellent, dear friends. Continue to be with your every breath. Just 5 more minutes of observing your breath at your nose. Be with your breath. Feel the calming power of concentration. Calming effect of complete focus. Complete relaxed focus. No analysis, no judgments. Wonderful, my dear friends. Now, slowly bring your attention and awareness to your heart region. Feel grateful for the wonderful session of breathfulness practice today. Express gratitude to your breath, your body, and your mind, and yourself for sitting through today's breathfulness session. Feel the sense of gratitude flowing throughout your body. With a relaxed body, with a calmer mind, and the feeling of gratitude, let us emerge from today's breathfulness meditation session. Become aware of your body. Slowly unclasp your fingers and place your palms on your eyes for a few seconds. And you can open them when you're ready. Wonderful. So, for most of the newcomers and people coming back to practice meditation, I hope you're making progress in spending more time with your breath without distractions. Tomorrow we will learn a few techniques. From tomorrow we'll start learning a few techniques on how to avoid distractions. I hope you're able to spend more time with your breath before a distraction happens. Yeah, if you have any questions, please let us know during the Q&A session. And before we dive into the science behind breathfulness, how many of you were able to practice the assignment for yesterday? Or yesterday's assignment was becoming aware or conscious of your breathing, activating your relaxation response during moments of overwhelm, during moments of anxiety, during moments of stress. Done the assignment. Very good, sir. How many of else? If any of you have done it, please type in yes or done. Wonderful. So did you feel a difference of being aware of your breathing and that particular situation, either solved by itself or you came up with a better response than before? Very good. All right. So thanks for responding. For others, all the exercises are also part of this practice because they're going to enhance your practice on the cushion and outside of the cushion, or while you're sitting as well as awake. All right, so we've been learning the simple formula, mindfulness, right? So mindfulness is attention plus awareness plus non-judgment. So as we continue our practice of breathfulness, in the meditation practice that we are doing now, we are being mindful of our breathing, focusing attention on every breath, being aware of the sensations here. Tomorrow sometime we'll become aware of the sensations, other parts of the body, and not judging anything, not analyzing anything, not thinking anything, right? So similarly, we'll start practicing mindfulness on our daily activities. So today's assignment will be mindful eating. Pretty easy to explain, and you will start feeling the benefit of mindfulness very immediately. So what is mindful eating? Mindful eating is every time you have a meal during the rest of the day, or at least one meal, your breakfast, lunch, or dinner. The exercise is you have to practice mindful eating. What is mindful eating? No devices, no TV, no phones, just absolute full attention on your eating food and full awareness of all the sensations that come while you're eating. Feel the taste, feel the smell, feel the hot or cold aspect of it, feel the sound of food, right? And then visually look at it visually and feel, again, without any thought or any judgment distracting the attention. So eat while you're eating, complete awareness, no judgment. Feel all the sensations as you are eating. So that will allow you to, when you are full, it will tell you, give you a signal, become aware of it and stop. A lot of people who practice this came back and said, yeah, now I usually I overeat. Now I am eating as much as I need. And then some people remarked some of the foods that they thought were boring earlier, they were able to enjoy those food much better, right? And then in Buddhist tradition, they also talk about this as a kind of a meditation because, again, awareness plus attention plus non-judgment. All right. So avoid talking, avoid any devices, complete focus on your eating, enjoy the experience, enjoy every feeling, every sensation without judging it. And you can apply the same thing to drinking coffee, tea, juice, experience the sensation in your tongue. Feel the food completely chewed in your mouth before you swallow the remaining, right? Not swallowing half the food. So slow, focused, completely aware, mindful eating. So please practice that on one or more of the meals today, and then share your observations tomorrow. All right, so today yesterday we saw the impact of breathfulness, how breathfulness helps our body, our organs of our body to get into the healing and growth mode. There is another benefit of breathfulness, another health benefit and physical benefit of breathfulness, which is more to do with brain and heart. So we're going to talk briefly about the brain and heart synchrony. So all of us know from our biology classes, these are the three key parts of the brain for us for this conversation. Look at this. This is the reptilian brain, which we call the hind brain, or some kind of the unconscious brain, because unconscious in the sense that it is not really unconscious, but it does things without the conscious attention of ours, right? For example, our heartbeat, our blood circulating, our immediate awareness of all the movements, all those reflex actions, all that come from this part of the brain, which is the most developed, which is what we inherited from evolution. And then there is a limbic system, the blue or purple part, which is what we call as the subconscious mind, the subconscious brain. And then we have the neocortex, which is more the conscious part of the brain. The neocortex, the different parts of neocortex are responsible for all the processing that happens when we are conscious or aware. It's about thinking and imagination. It is about taking decisions, and it's about feeling. It's about seeing and hearing, right? Each part of the brain is mapped to a particular part. It is allotted that it is the department of processing a particular sensory experience, right? And for different people, for someone who's a dancer, who's a sports person, this part of the brain is a lot more developed. For someone who works with more of the audio mechanisms, this part of the brain, the temporal lobe, is a lot more developed, or are more active most of the time, right? And similarly, visual and then thinking and imagination, things like that. And then there is the limbic system, which we spoke about, is the culprit behind all our stories in our mind. It is the seat of ego, seat of self, right? So it holds all the memories. It is responsible for all our emotional responses. The amygdala part as part of the limbic brain, is responsible for all our mind chatter, telling you what will other people think, recalling negative memories. And as I said yesterday, the body is built for survival. Survival means always looking for harm. So anytime, most of the time, our mind is also looking for harm. That harm is not physical harm. Someone makes a comment, immediately this part of the brain jumps in and tells you, oh, is that comment directed at harming you? If it is going to harm you, immediately it creates a story. Oh my God, he said this, and he thinks that you are not capable of something, and immediately this kicks in, and then the entire defense mechanism starts happening, or worry starts creating. That's the limbic system. All right. And a lot of research that has happened. There are quite a few books like Bliss Brain by Dawson Church. Dr. Joe Dispenza has done a lot of research. A lot of neuroscientists have done a lot of research on how the brain works in meditation. And we found these are the 4 key brain networks. And as I said, it's not just the different parts of the brain. All these different parts of the brain work as a network. Every time you think a thought, there are millions of neurons being fired, right? And every time you form a habit, there are neural pathways that are etched. Now we are trying to release some of those unhelpful neural pathways. So the 4 different types of networks: emotion regulation network, which is the amygdala and hippocampus, which is what I talked about. All these work in a network fashion. It's not just one part of the brain. Then there is attention network, which is insula and corpus callosum. This is the front part of the brain. This is where, that is when we are focusing attention on our breath, that is the network that is working. And then there is the selfing control, the ability to act as yourself, right? Like your physical body. This is your physical body. This is the limit of your physical body. You're feeling, you're walking, the way you're moving your hands and everything is all part of the selfing control network that gives you a sense of self. And there is this empathy network, which is more about gratitude. That is why we practice this practice of gratitude. Anything to do with empathy, anything to do with appreciation, anything to do with gratitude is all the work of the empathy network. And all these are affected, impacted, and transformed by our practice of everyday breathfulness meditation. Right? As we continue to practice, usually this emotion regulation network is very active, all the chatter, slowly the chatter comes down. You'll feel that during the sense of calm and peace during the rest of the day. Our attention improves, our focus improves, our concentration improves. So this is a lot more, we are allowing this to work a lot more during the day. And then slowly you'll lose the sense of self, the importance. Right? In deep meditation, a lot of you will feel that you're not even aware of your body. You're not even aware of your that you existed. Right? That is because the selfing control goes offline. And then the empathy network slowly improves, right? You're a lot more compassionate, a lot more appreciative of what other people do. That's what ultimately leads to the spiritual attribute of oneness. You feel everything is one. Right? And then so that's what happens in the brain. And there's a lot of research in the last 20 years that also spoke about the importance of heart. Right? And that is where the heart-brain coherence. So this is about the brain coherence. When different parts of the brain work harmoniously, that is where the coherent brain waves. For example, when I talk, there is this there's different networks that we saw, right? And then different parts of the brain that we saw. All these parts of the brain, when they work aligned, they found just like ECG, they put those EEG in different parts of the brain that they measured. For example, this is one part of the brain, this is one part of the brain, this is one part of the brain. And in deep meditation, it brings coherency in your brain. That means different parts of the brain work very harmoniously every time, every moment. Otherwise, there is a huge scatter. Brain coherence, working all parts of your brain, working in coherence happens in deep concentration, and continuous attention on the breath builds that concentration. Harmony and efficiency. Otherwise, only one part of the brain will be working. Now all parts of the brain are ready to work at any point of time efficiently. And heart coherence is measured by HRV. What it says is as we continue to reduce our thoughts, start focusing on a particular thing for multiple times, then your heart, like we said yesterday, right? You move your body into relaxation response. and your heart starts beating normally, naturally, according to a rhythm, according to a pattern. And your feelings have the biggest impact on the heart. As they say, your feelings are the language of your soul, and your thoughts are the language of your mind, right? Your heart always, heart attracts, heart is a magnet for your feelings. Heart is the pathway to your soul, or your soul level consciousness. Whereas your brain is more your pathway to your mind, your intellect, your intelligence. So when in this deep meditation, both your heart and brain start becoming coherent, right? When the brain starts becoming slower, brain waves becoming slower, then that is why anytime you bring in a positive emotion like gratitude, love, compassion, your heart becomes, your HRV becomes normal. See the pattern here, right? When you start appreciation, when you start getting into gratitude, HRV is nothing but measuring your heart rate at different points of your time, and that usually follows a pattern. It's not constant. Your heart rate is never constant. It will keep increasing and decreasing within a particular band. For example, in this, you see, this is your usual around 60 to 70, right? So this is what, there is a pattern, there is a rhythm here. Whereas they measured the HRV of someone with an emotion of anger. See the way the heart beats so jaggedly, right? So that's a benefit of focus, benefit of meditation. Your heart and brain start to work optimally, efficiently, and then driving all your decisions and behavior. So, and as they used EEG to measure different parts of the brain, what they discovered is the brain also operates in the concept of waves. Everything is energy. Your brain chatter slowly reduces. And that is what they measured as part of brain waves. Brain waves are nothing but you can, at a minimum, at a very simplified form, you can say thoughts per second. When you're anxious, there are millions of thoughts in your second. Your heart beats faster. Your brain is absolutely incoherent, right? That's like your very high, what to say, high rate of heartbeat, just like the high rate of brain. So that is what is beta. What they measured is anything, if your brain frequency, the brain wave frequency is between a certain amount of below 30 hertz per second, then it is your normal range, your normal everyday. Right now, because you finished your meditation, most of you could be in alpha or very low beta, right? When you are in your normal day-to-day activity, you'll probably be in beta. If you're anxious about something, restless about something, anger, frustration, annoyance, then you are in high beta. You'll feel your brain waves is moving faster. And as we slow down, remember the relaxation step that we are doing, listening to music, any relaxation, walking in nature, your mind becomes, your brain operates in alpha, right? Your brain, number of thoughts in your brain goes down 8 to 14 hertz. And you go deeper into meditation, as you start observing your breath, continuous focus, your brain, speed of your brain waves slows down much further. And in deep meditation, it's absolute peace, absolute calmness, absence of thoughts, is you get into delta. So even during a normal deep sleep, this whole process happens. As you rest on your bed, as you start closing your eyes, as you start relaxing, your brain moves into alpha. And as you continue to get deeper into sleep, real deep, high quality sleep, you get into theta and delta, right? So sleep, that's why Patriji says sleep is unconscious meditation. Meditation is conscious sleep, alert sleep. And we will all notice as we increase the time spent in meditation, our body will not need as much time as before for your sleeping. All our sleep time is reduced. That is because your body is getting all the rest, all the relaxation, all the healing in deep meditation. It doesn't need as much. Then your sleep is more for your physical body, right? You're just resting, allowing your body parts to rest. And yesterday we looked at how the brain, depending on the thoughts that you have, there are different hormones, good hormones or good neurochemicals, or bad hormones or bad neurochemicals that get generated due to your thoughts. And look at here. So as we go into the different waves, different phases of our speed of our brain, there are different types of hormones that are getting reduced. When we are anxious, when we are in survival mode, when our stress response is activated, we are in beta or high beta, it generates stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. When we are slowly relaxing, we are feeling good. That is when the endorphins, neurochemicals start rushing your body. For example, anytime you feel very good, oh, wonderful. I'm feeling wonderful, focusing on our breath, observing my breath. That is because of all these neurochemicals that flood your body. It's in your blood being flowing in your blood, right? Serotonin and endorphins. And then when you get deeper into meditation, deep relaxation, deep REM sleep, inner peace, when you're seriously engaged in some very creative activity, right? And you are in the zone, in the flow. That's when this neurochemicals of GABA and anti-cortisol, it starts healing your stress. Endorphins start. And then deep meditation, delta, absolutely slow, pain relief happens, anti-aging. A lot of studies that talk about meditation also reducing your aging process. And then you start all mystical experiences start happening. And this is where this hormones or neurochemicals like melatonin flood. So there is a correlation between what we are doing, health, and all these experiences that we are happening right from creativity. And then that is because of the brain and the heart. And there has been a study, again published, I think, by Dawson Church in his book, Mind to Matter. There was this gentleman named Cade, who was a biophysicist. And over 20 years, he recorded the brainwave patterns of 4,000 odd people with strong spiritual practices, not just meditation, right? Not just breathfulness meditation, different forms of meditation, different forms of spiritual practices, chanting, yoga, all the shamanic practices. And then one thing he found common in all the people who felt higher connection, who felt awakened, who felt a drop of ego, a drop of mind, was when they are in the deep state of their practice, this is their brain pattern, right? And then this is how it happens. So initially it is in beta, and then there are each of these are different frequencies, right? And the brain operates at different frequencies at different times. So the beta frequency is different. So what they found is there's a predominance of alpha frequency, and then there's a predominance of delta frequency in deep meditation. So moment to moment, it keeps varying, right? And what they say is alpha, getting into alpha state is the key to get into the theta and delta. That's what is called as alpha bridge. Usually we are here and you need to cross the bridge to get into theta and delta. What is that bridge? That initial phase of relaxation, initial music, initial breathing, equal breathing, or any form of pranayama that relaxes you, gets into the alpha state. Getting into your alpha state is important so that you get into deep states of meditation faster. Otherwise, if your brain is too anxious, trying to get into breathing, trying to get into theta and delta, it takes a while. And this pattern we will all see as we continue our practice of meditation. And that's the alpha bridge. These are conscious mind frequencies. These are subconscious, unconscious mind frequencies. We're still aware, and that's where all mystical experiences happen. And this is another view. Yesterday, we saw how the fight or flight mode, the survival mode, all that is because of the limbic brain. It always safeguards you physically and emotionally. And whereas the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for all your decisions, the third eye area we keep referring to, right? And this is the one that's responsible for things like empathy, insight, emotional regulation, body regulation, intuition. Ideally, we should be using this part of the brain more often, right? Our thinking, our responding, being conscious, being mindful. But what happens is, most of the time, our thoughts, our limbic brain hijacks the moments of consciousness. And we don't even know why we made that statement. We don't even know why we got that feeling, right? So now through this practice of breathfulness, we're trying to give this its significance, its importance, and we're slowly trying to silence our limbic brain. Limbic brain does have its function. Only thing is, we are trying to be, whether we are angry in a reactive mode or we are consciously being angry is what is the difference, right? And then lastly, I'd want to quickly talk about this research, again, published in one of the books of Dawson Church. So there was one gentleman who was skeptical about meditation, an Australian journalist, I think. So he was made to go through 8 weeks of mindfulness meditation. And throughout the 8 weeks, they measured his different biomarkers as well as neuromarkers. So his heart rate, his blood pressure, his sugar levels, right, different hormone levels, is also his ability to respond quickly, memory retention tests, aptitude tests, quick response tests, all that they kept measuring week on week. So they had an initial baseline, and then every week they started measuring. And all he did was mindfulness meditation, and obviously living in nature and practicing a form of natural diet, right? And what they observed over the 8 weeks is, if you see these parts of the brain, this is exactly what you're talking. They notice changes in the brain purely through this practice of mindfulness meditation, right? If, for example, this is the limbic brain, they notice the changes. It kind of was not active as before, as active as before, because of our concentration attention. The frontal part, the prefrontal cortex, started showing improvements. So there were, in the brain scan, it showed differences compared to the previous one. And the empathy and your intuition part of the brain also showed. So 22.8% increase in the volume of the part of the brain responsible for emotional regulation, which is this part, enhanced brain response time, better memory, increased cognitive powers, improved behavioral abilities. Behavioral abilities means the ability to respond instead of reacting, feeling oneness, feeling compassionate, and more relaxed and energy efficient brain, right? It's not unnecessarily wasting energy because of unhelpful thoughts. And all these changes in the brain happen in just 8 weeks. And this is all without any drugs, no surgery, no supplements, no major life changes, right? Not like leaving your job and then sitting in meditation for 24 hours, but just regular practice of mindfulness meditation, right? So that is the impact of being with our breath. That is the impact of being mindful. Just practicing mindfulness meditations has an impact on our body, has an impact on our thoughts, has an impact on our brain, has an impact on our heart. That's the physiology of what happens when we are with our breath. And all our spiritual practices, I mean, I'm not saying just meditation, every spiritual practice has similar benefits. It's a question of our aptitude to take up that spiritual practice. All right. So with that, my dear friends, so we're understanding more on the science behind why we should be meditating. All these science is basically to give us the motivation for us to do this practice every day. I know some of us probably are pushed into this meditation by somebody saying that go attend this class. It'll be helpful. But once you start understanding this, then you'll start thinking, oh, it's good for me, and then I'll sit and practice. All right. So with that, we will end our theory session as well. And I hope you had a wonderful practice. We know the assignment for today, which is mindful eating, and then continue to do your practice. For people who are new to this meditation, you can continue to practice this, use a recording later in the day, or just practice equal breathing, be conscious of your breathing, or do the practice again before you get to sleep. All right, with that, let's open it up for questions. Any questions, please type it on the chat window, or you can raise your hand. I'll allow you to unmute, sir. Wonderful. So while we wait for questions on the chat window, I think I see a hand raised. Can you please unmute yourself and ask a question, Madali Manideep?
Yeah. Hi, Master. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Just I want to share my experience of today's, which is like when I get into this meditation state, I felt multiple times like my body is getting separated. I got scared. It is not even for a single time. I got the same feeling for multiple times. Just I want to know why I felt, or is there something, the reason for that?
Wonderful. So good, you felt something and you're aware of that. As I mentioned in earlier today in the experiences slide, right? one of the experiences is out of body experiences. Also, you'll feel your body separated, you'll feel yourself meditating, and all that experience happens in deep sleep as well. So again, the point here is that's a valid experience to happen and nothing to feel fearful about it. All right, and it will happen a few times and then go away. It will not persist. So nothing to worry. And again, no significance about it. Don't analyze or attach meaning to it. Just let
Okay.
it go. Just say, thank you. I observed it. Now I'm alive. I'm feeling conscious. Thank you. And just be with it. All right. Nothing to worry.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. Any other questions or anyone else wants to share their experience? All right. So I think in the interest of time, there are no more questions and on the chat or this one. So let's close the session for today, my dear friends. And please continue to be conscious, continue to be aware, continue to be mindful every moment of the day. And that is the whole result. That is why we are doing this practice every morning or every evening for people outside of India. So with that, thank you very much. Have a wonderful mindful day. See you tomorrow.